Clinging to his dreams of winning a record 21st major title at the Australian Open, tennis world number 1 Novak Djokovic returned to an all-too-familiar immigration detention hotel on Saturday, waiting for a court to decide if he should be deported. 3 judges at the Federal Court of Australia will hear Djokovic's challenge against the government's cancellation of his visa at a hearing on Sunday. That could deliver the final on a saga that has gripped the country and the sporting world. The unvaccinated tennis superstar is hoping to be allowed to stay to play in the Australian Open, which commences on Monday in a bid to win a record 21 Grand Slams. Djokovic's leading rivals have become increasingly impatient with the uncertainty hanging over the draw and the cloud hanging over.
I think that at the end of the day, we don't have enough information. I mean, he had a visa, right? So I don't think he would have traveled here just by luck without him thinking that he would be able to play and with him having the right authorization to be in the country. So if you would have the visa, you would think that you would be playing. I think Novak is a very big name and is a global superstar. And I think that he is someone that maybe, you know, people think that they can make a big deal out of it just because it's Novak. Because I know that there's been other players, there's 5 other exemptions, I think, and there has been, for example, the female player that has already played in the tournament until Novak has arrived. And then because of Novak, she got sent out of the country. So I don't know enough of the situation, but I do think that if it would not be Novak Djokovic, world number 1 with 20 Grand Slams and all that, then it would be not as big of a drama. That I do believe. But everything else I cannot comment because I'm not a politician. I understand the perspective from the Australian people, the Australian government. But the Australian government and the Victorian government should have been clear on what is going to happen beforehand. And I think it's not very fair for a person to come here and not be able to play.
I'm here to talk about tennis, not Novak Djokovic. We may proceed, please. Right. Well, I won't lie, it has been pretty much on every news outlet the last couple of weeks, and it has received a lot of attention. A lot of people are obviously talking about it, and that's why I'm here to talk about tennis. You know, he has received a lot of attention, as I said, and not enough tennis has been talked about in the last couple of weeks, which is a shame.
Well, I think first of all, this whole situation has taken a lot of spotlight away from us competitors that we're here to play the Australian Open. We're here on our own terms, ready to, compete and, hopefully have a very good couple of weeks. So it feels like, it's taken away from us competitors who just want to start. We're just eager to go out and compete. The Australian Open is always an incredible event, my home slam, my favourite tournament, and to be honest, I'm just ready to put all of this behind me and focus on playing my tennis matches and kind of let my tennis do the talking. Because at the end of the day, tennis is a individual sport, and we've all been here in Australia for a while, getting ready for this tournament. So we all just want to get on with our own stuff. That's basically it.
Australians on Saturday appeared to have little sympathy for Novak Djokovic.
Well, I would love for him to not be allowed to play, for him to go home, but the cynical part of me thinks that he will be allowed to play. But if he does, I think that it's a really important lesson, I suppose, for all people of power and of privilege, Do you know that, the people of Melbourne and the people of Australia don't really want him here. So it might not be the Australian Open that he was dreaming of this entire time.
I don't think so. I hope not. He's a good player. I have nothing against him, but I think if he did get let in, it kind of sends a bad message to everyone out there that, that it's not a big deal, that anyone can do whatever they want. So yeah, I hope that, the government, the judges hold their ground and say, if you don't want to get a vaccination and, you don't want to follow our rules, then you can't come in.
I think as someone who's lived in Melbourne over the last 2 years, who's had their quote-unquote freedoms revoked because of the lockdown, which we couldn't avoid, it's for public safety, I do feel that to make a statement to the rest of the world that we are sticking by what we've been calling for the last 2 years, I feel as best as if Djokovic should probably sit out this one.
He's one of the biggest tennis stars in the world, so they obviously, certain people will back him up and go for him in the sense of a tennis way, but most Australians and especially the public, I think everyone's quite upset about it, as no one's been able to see their family and everyone's has to go through pain and loss just because of the pandemic. So why is it fair that he can go around not being vaccinated and doing whatever he can, whereas the rest of the public and Australia has been stuck?
I feel like Djokovic's case is just like a massive slap in the face, especially after spending so much time in lockdown over the past 2 years. But I think more importantly, it really just points to how broken our systems are. The government just keeps making bad decisions.
A few hundred anti-vaccination protesters gathered at Melbourne Park, waving flags and chanting, with some saying, "Free Victoria, release Novak," after the tennis star was sent to immigration detention for the second time. Detained on arrival, Djokovic spent his first 4 nights in hotel detention before a judge freed him after finding a decision to cancel his visa on arrival has been unreasonable. Immigration Minister cancelled Djokovic's visa again on Friday night, prompting another appeal by the star player's lawyers.